Hi, and welcome to today's video on Pro Video Player, otherwise known as PvP. Today we'll be going over PvP and how to use it in a one-screen install. If you have multiple screens, you will need to look at our other video on PvP with multiple screens. Today we're going to do a general overview of the software. We're going to start by looking at the interface. Up here at the top, you will see layers. PvP is a software that is based on layers, where layer 1, or the layer on the far left, is your bottom layer, and the layer on your far right will be the top layer. Similar to Photoshop, the higher the layer will increase its priority. So anything played in layer 2 will play on top of what is being played in layer 1. Therefore, layer 1 will not show. Here underneath each layer, you're going to see its settings. You'll see any presets, blending, effects, or transitions that are associated with that layer. You can also rename this layer by clicking Rename, change it, or move it to a different point to increase or decrease its priority. Over here to the right, you are going to see the master. This is going to be all the content that is going out. You'll see what is currently going out, any settings that are associated with that. On the far right hand side, you're going to see my content bin. This will give me the settings for a piece of content that I've currently selected. So if I select layer 1, I will see what is currently going in layer 1. If I select master, I will see what is currently going out on my master channel. Down here at the bottom, you will see my graphics. Over here on the left are playlists. I can create a new playlist by hitting the plus button, hitting Add Playlist, and that new playlist will show up over here on the left. I can title it whatever I want. In this instance, I'm going to call it Ads. Once I've selected that playlist, you will see whatever content is in that playlist. To add content, I'm going to hit the plus button inside of that playlist and select From Finder. Here I'm going to navigate to wherever I have my content. I'm going to navigate to this folder called Ads, and my ads are right here. Select Open, and they will come into the software. To play one of these pieces of content, I can select the layer I want to play it in and click on it. It's that simple. To clear it, I go up and I hit the clear on that layer, and that piece of content will go away. You'll notice as I'm playing this piece of content, it's covering up on my master what is being played on the lower layer. As soon as I clear, you'll notice that the animation comes back. Inside of these playlists, you can set different settings for each of your pieces of content. To do that, right-click on your piece of content and go to the inspector and select the piece of content. The first tab here gives you information about it, what it's called, where it's located, and what the thumbnail of that image is. It tells you the type and the size. Next is settings. I can set my scaling options, flip the piece of content or crop it, or even rotate it if necessary. I also have a duration here. This is how long that piece of content will stay up when I have it set to automatically rotate. I have transitions. I can select any from this setting right here. And I have effects, but typically this is not used. If I have a video piece of content or an animation, I get a few more options. Here, I will see the format, the size, and the frames per second. I'll be able to play that piece of content inside of the inspector. I get my playback options, whether I want to loop, play through once, loop for a certain amount of playthroughs, or loop for a certain amount of time. I can set the in and out points. So if I want to choose just a section of a longer video, I can do that with my in and out points. And I can set my play rate. If I want to slow the video down or speed it up, I can do that right here. If I have a bunch of pieces of content I am bringing in and want to set all those settings at once, the easy way of doing that is going PVP at the top, settings, and then import. Here in import, I can select the settings I want for that piece of content before I even bring it in. So say for images, I want them to automatically go to next at a time of 10 seconds. I select that. And now I'm going to delete these out and add them back in. All of these guys will now automatically go to next after 10 seconds. To show you that, I'm going to select that first piece of content. It is currently set to going to layer 2. And then after 10 seconds, it will go to my next piece of content. Once it is at the last piece of content, it will cycle around back to the front. This is a good way of letting your advertisers roll continuously without having to manually input it. Next, we're going to look at the setup of PVP. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my content bin off to the side. I don't need it at this point. And then I'm going to select the pencil icon right here. Then I'm going to select screens. At this point, you see I have one screen. If I click on it, you will see the exact width and height. In this case, it's going to be 800 by 420. That is the size of my board in pixels. Yours may vary. Once I've set my screen to the size of my board, I then want to set an output. I'm going to select Ultra Studio HD Mini and 720p 60. This is going to make sure that the video is going to come out of my computer and go to my sign controller via the Blackmagic device in my system. If this is not set correctly, you will not have anything going out to the board. Down here we have output target. The output target needs to be set as the same as my screen size. So both of them are currently set to 800 by 420. Once your screen is set up, now you need to create targets. A target is a zone of the screen where I can play content. The thing that makes targets interesting is you are actually building a target set. So you can have multiple targets at one time that you can send video to. This mostly applies to multi-board systems. Here, I have got one target. If I click on it, you'll see it is currently 800 by 420, which means that it is going to be a full screen, take up the entire screen. If I want to create a new target, all I have to do is come up here where it says full screen, and then create a new target set. Once I've done that, I can hit the square and drag and drop my target to wherever I want it. If I want just an upper portion of my screen, I can drag it to the size I want. And rename it. I will call this one upper 3/4. Now that I have created my target, I'm going to select the pencil icon again to go back to my main screen. I'll go back up to my layers and go to target set underneath that layer. Here I can select whatever target I want. Any content sent to that layer will go to that target. So I'm going to clear out layer 2. Change it to upper 3/4. And now when I play content there, you will see on my master that I have content playing in my higher layer just on the upper 3/4, while you're seeing content still play from full screen underneath. Now let's create another target. In this case, I want to create a target that sits underneath the upper 3/4 target I just made. To create a new target, again, I'm going to create new target set. Click on the rectangle. And now I want to put this directly underneath the other one, so that needs to start at 300. We'll make it 120 high to fit in the screen size. And name it lower 1/4. What I'm going to do now is create a new layer. Tell it I want it to go to lower 1/4. Now none of this content will fit into that layer nicely. So in order to make it look right, I'm going to add in a piece of content that fits that zone. I'm going to create a new playlist. Title it lower 1/4. And add in a piece of content. Here I'm going to select this Formetco logo that is designed in a banner size. I'll hit open, and now I can select layer 3 and that Formetco logo. Now we see here on the output that I've got that Formetco logo sitting nicely underneath my rotating ads. Now let's say you want to play 2 pieces of content into 2 zones with 1 click. Well, there's a very easy way of doing that. First thing I want to do is I want to make sure the pieces of content I want playing in those zones are there. So I look here, layer 2 I've got Coke, and layer 3 I've got the Formetco. But let's not do the rotating ads. Let's do a video. So we'll put in layer 2 this animation. Now these are the two pieces of content I want. This is the look I'm going for. I'm going to now create what's called a snapshot. I'm going to navigate to whatever playlist I want my snapshot to be in and hit the plus button and then select snapshot. Here you will see that I have media, target set, and transitions already selected. I'm going to hit save. And you'll see now I have a piece of content that shows multiple pieces of content inside of it going to multiple zones denoted by these colored bars at the bottom. I can clear everything out, and with one click I can have both my pieces of content go up at once. Then I can clear out everything by the master or individually by the layers. For my setups, I prefer to have a fourth layer as well. That will be my full screen. You'll notice I have my bottom and my top layer as full screen. The reason I do this is if I'm running a snapshot like this and I want to cover it up with something full screen, it's very easy to select that layer, cover it up, and then come back here and clear what's underneath. And that's it. That's your basic overview of PVP. There will be additional videos going into the depths of playlists, snapshots, setup, and layers. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us, and have a great day.